This is Short Hammer. It is the 15th of December, 2019, and we are taking a look at Tesla. Now, Tesla had a very interesting week where we had a lot of movement, a lot of push to the upside after a nice pullback. Now, what I'm looking at on Tesla is it does have a pattern, and I've definitely been saying above 350, look to fade Tesla because usually it will retrace. And that has been I'll say the modus operandi. So let's look back a little bit. Let's see. So this is the 360s on this push up, retrace back to the 325, 327-ish area. Next pop, retrace, but I don't really count this as much, but retrace back down. On this run up, we did actually manage to push into the 380s, it looks like, but the air got thin as usual. And a few days later, Tesla's back down through the 327 area, push up here into the 360s, back down to the 327 area, push up through the 360s. And this time it tried to sort of base and pop back up there. Air got thin again, back down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So here was almost 2 weeks where it was trying to prove that it could hold and it can go, but it couldn't do it. And you just see when it pushes up into these areas here, air got thin again, back down to the 327s, 320s. We're pushing up again a little bit higher. Maybe we see an extension. It's similar to this movement here that we saw. An extension up into the upper 370s, maybe. That's a potential, just maybe, and we'll see what happens there. But my expectation is that we sell back off unless we have some news that's coming out that's going to convince buyers that there's another leg in Tesla. People are probably already beginning to build their short position here. I'm not telling you to build your short position. Each person has different strategies that they use. I'm more intraday, so I'll be playing this intraday, but I do expect this to go back down. And if we look at the lower time frame, let's see, our 15-minute. So what I'll be watching is boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'll see if we can get above this 360 area, and can we get any extension up here into the 362 area potentially? If we clear the 364s, then I'll be looking for the next level, and I do have a zone up here that we may not make it all the way up there. We actually may tag out right around this area. I've got some candle structure, but just off basic candle structure, and depending on if we're and there's a good chance we're going to be bullish heading into the end of the year. So we pull back. If you look at this, we pull back into this candle structure here. Buyer stepped in, pushed us back up. Now what we need is to break above this candle structure here and above the 360s, and then get a squeeze and pop the top. Then we have room open into the 370s. So I'll be watching for that on Tesla. Do we see sell action, a pullback below the 356s? If we do, I'll probably be fading this down to the 354s into this lower structure here to see if this doesn't hold. I'll fade it down into here. If we break above this structure and hold, then I'll be logging this into the next structure. And I'll be very careful at how I manage this, and definitely very careful. But my expectation would be if we hold this structure above the 360 area, that we do see a leg into the 362s through that, into the 364, 65 area, potentially into the 370s. So I'll be watching for that to see if, as we retest this structure, or we break above this structure here and hold, and there's bullish candle formations, I'll be riding this through the 362s, like all the way into the 364s, and watch to see what happens there, and then see if we see more action to the upside. I I probably should overlay. For me, when I do my intraday, I do use power of pivots, and that does give me intraday pivots that I love to use, and also higher time frame pivots that I love to use to give me an extra edge in execution. But when I do the charts, I like to show a lot of candle structure and a lot of the supply demand lines and zones that I like to use just for a clear picture of the my sort of the basic thing that I'm looking at. And then a little bit of a more complex layer that I add on would be the power of pivots overlay to give me like an extra edge to be able to see what the algos are looking at. What are they seeing? And that's courtesy of power of pivots. And that's sort of like my little extra sauce that I love to use to make sure that I have my levels right. And I love when the supply demand lines that I draw, or supply demand zones that I draw, it's sort of confirmed and overlaid by at least this algorithmic script where the you have the pivots at those levels, which for me is even greater confirmation of candle structure and things that I've already seen when I'm sort of mapping out my trade. So pivots are definitely an integral part of my trading style, and without that, I would lose some of the accuracy on entries and exits for sure. Like definitely, I would lose some of that. But I always use pivots. Definitely always use pivots. If you like this video and would like to receive more videos like these, tap that like button and don't hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Power of Pivots.